The 359 is sponsored by USB Technology. The USB Implementers Forum reminds consumers that USB IF logos are displayed on certified USB products. So the next time you're shopping for a reliable USB charger, cable, or device, look for the logos. Get the whole story at enablingus.org. Good morning on a solid jam, coming at you live from the CNET Studios in New York City. I'm BVG. This is the 359 podcast, episode 445. And today your hosts are Joni Salzman and Roger Chang.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
How's it going, Brian?
Oh, doing okay. I'm excited that we're talking about phones today.
I am too, because I love phones. I love all things mobile. We're going to be talking about the official review of the Galaxy Note 9. Jessica Dolcourt has her final verdict after a little bit more than a week of testing. We'll also be talking about some of the various T-Mobile Un-carrier announcements that were made yesterday. Obviously, the stuff about customer service, but I know a lot of our readers care about free stuff. So a free year of Pandora Plus and access to Live Nation tickets and shows. We'll break it down for you. That's why I have Joan on to talk about what this means and if this is actually a big deal. I don't know. I'm not a music person. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. Brian will pick out the best, and we'll get to them in 3 minutes and 59 seconds.
Kicking it off in 3, 2...
Welcome to the 359. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Joni Salzman.
The official CNET review of the Galaxy Note 9 is out, and our own Jessica Dolcourt calls it one of the year's best phones. But she does note it's on the pricey side, and she ultimately suggests you might hold off and wait to check out the new iPhone or Pixel or even next year's Galaxy S10 before making a call. And that's largely because there's not a lot of huge upgrades in this phone. I mean, it's a bigger battery, some camera tricks, and you get the sense that Samsung's holding back.
Yeah. I mean, Jess said that in her review, she had tons of fun. It felt like the most fun phone that she's used. But do you really want to pay that much money just to have a little more fun with your phone? No. Especially when you don't know what that's going to be competing against. We don't know what we're going to see from those other
and like
handsets.
the S Pen it's nice. I think it's gimmicky. I know Samsung insists that Note users love their S Pen.
When I had a Note, I loved my pen. I loved it.
Yeah, but it's like when you go onto another phone without a stylus, you kind of forget about it.
That's true.
So I don't know. For folks who are hardcore, they probably already decided. I said this last week. I think that is the dilemma. Like, do you buy this upgraded phone, which is arguably one of the best, if not the best, Android phones out there, or do you wait for some of the bigger innovations that are going to come next year?
Yeah.
So next up, want to talk about T-Mobile. I know the big Un-carrier event was all about customer service, but I want to skip ahead to the more music-oriented announcements. They offered customers, or they will be offering customers, a free year of Pandora Plus, as well as access to tickets to Live Nation events. John, how big? I mean, you cover music. How big a deal is it for these companies?
Well, you actually probably have a good vantage point of what it means for T-Mobile.
Yes.
I imagine for T-Mobile, it's kind of like another thing in the potpourri of free gimmies that they give to their users.
This is, obviously this is another thing for T-Mobile Tuesday. This will come as a T-Mobile Tuesday promotion, the Pandora Plus thing, later this month. And I mean, as a T-Mobile customer, I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Who doesn't like free?
Who doesn't like free stuff?
But for Pandora, it's definitely something that's, I wouldn't say it's critical, but it's definitely a help considering they're facing such competition with Spotify and other services. They were the biggest service in the US for a really long time until in the period before subscription streaming really started to hit its stride. And once that happened, that's when Apple Music and Spotify sort of solidified their lead. And Pandora's had a hard time catching up.
I mean, I have to imagine that kind of pressure really kind of pushed these two to get together a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I imagine T-Mobile got some really good discounted rates for this. And I guess, they're banking that after the year, the folks will just keep on with Pandora Plus.
Or what they're probably really banking on is that those Pandora Plus users will upsell to Pandora Premium, which is twice as much, and you get it's basically exactly like all the other services where you get total library, all the skips, play on demand, all the offline listening, anything that no ads, obviously. And you get another $5 a month out of those people.
All right. So lastly, I was down in South Carolina to check out the latest Un-carrier event. It was all about customer service. It wasn't about video, which a lot of folks were speculating. It would be like a big over-the-top video play. You can check out some of the footage from the call center here. That's me walking through what's known as a clap-in. It's how they introduce guests. Yeah,
it's like an
crazy.
ego stroking gauntlet.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, seeing giant posters of my face like that, right? Like that.
Oh my god, I
in
didn't
emoji
see that.
form.
Oh my gosh.
That's,
Sorry, everybody. That was Ledger. Ledger holding up
CEO
a
John
sign
Ledger.
of Roger's face.
Yeah.
They have a bromance, like a serious bromance. That I find the twists and turns of it
So
really
it's not the most exciting thing, but their pitch is that they're trying to get away from bots, more into dedicated teams that are that sort of focus on you and your service. Like there's a team of 40 people tasked with specific regions. So when you call in, you get the same 40 people. And so it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
It's kind of like white glove service. We'll see if it actually makes a difference. I know folks were a little disappointed. It wasn't about a video. That's later this year. Anyways, for more of these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Joni Salzman.
Thanks for listening.
And thanks for joining us, as always, for the recording of the audio podcast. That concludes today's broadcast. No, I'm kidding. We're going to go ahead and pull out some questions and comments about, what's that phone called? The Galaxy
Note 9.
The
9. Yeah. Let's just see how many people I trigger in the chat with that one. Anyways, yeah, send in your questions and comments. We'll be happy to floor them. And, in the meantime, it's okay. So the one thing that kind of struck me about the comments that we said from Jessica's review is like, oh, but if you wait and see what the Pixel does, then you wait till you see what Apple does. It's like you're just going to be waiting indefinitely, and if we waited for the next model, we'd still be rolling with like the iPhone 3.
Well, so I think normally, yes, that is that's a fairly astute observation, but I think the issue is we're looking at 2019 as a potentially big year for innovations, whether it's 5G, whether it's fingerprint sensors embedded in the display, foldable phones. There are a bunch of innovations. Things are supposed to get smaller. The chips are supposed to get a lot faster next year. There could be a big leap, and so I guess the fear is if you buy something now, you're gonna miss out on that big innovation next year. And if you buy next year, I feel like you're somewhat future-proofing yourself a little bit better than you are this year. And really, this phone wasn't that different. That's the big issue. It's like there are some tricks on the camera that are a little better. If you're upgrading from the Galaxy Note 5, like a phone that's 3 or 4 years old, yeah, this is going to be a huge leap and it's fine. But if your phone's a year or two old, this is probably not a great upgrade for you.
Fair enough. And then for everybody who's kind of citing the price as a bit of a turnoff, like they're all just getting too expensive these days. So
They're all so expensive.
Well, the funny thing is,
They are.
leading into this, Samsung was like, "Oh yeah, they kind of acknowledged that price was an issue. They were kind of hinting that this would be more reasonable, and how they've justified that is through packing in more memory, more storage, more RAM.
Yeah.
So like, hey, we give you more for your money, but still $1,000. That's a lot of money for a phone that isn't dramatically different from last year's. And I know folks in the comments will go, well, the iPhone 10 is $1,000, and you guys don't rag on them. We did rag on iPhone 10 for that price. They're super expensive, but that phone was also significantly different from the previous models, and so there was at least some justification for that huge price. And yeah, I'm not a fan of the fact that we're all paying $1,000 for a phone. It's not really even $1,000. Like, if we want the maximum storage, it's more like $1,100, $1,200 for these things. So,
Right. Yeah. But the Note does have it was like 500 plus gigabytes of storage or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. The
Ton of storage.
1250 model has a 512 gigs of storage.
Oh, sorry. So
And then it has it allows for you to get a 512 gig memory card. So you have one terabyte phone, which is insane. But given how many photos my wife takes of our kid,
I know.
probably actually will fill up in a month. So, yeah.
So we have to floor a meta question before we move any further forward.
Right.
For the newbie in the chat, Ken, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining us. It's a stupid question. Why is it called the 3:59 if it's live streamed at 10:19 Central Time? Does it last almost 4 hours? Only once, and never again will we ever do that.
Right.
It's 3:59 because essentially the idea is we're going to give the best headlines in 3 minutes and 59 seconds for some arbitrary management reason
Today it was like
that we didn't
5 minutes
choose and we didn't
32
name it
seconds.
for. But then after that, we chit-chat, so clearly we've gone a lot longer than 3 minutes and
Wait, was
59
it 5
seconds.
minutes
But
and-
the
was it
idea
5
is
minutes?
3
No, no, no,
minutes and
4 minutes
59
and 32
seconds,
seconds.
you can leave because you've gotten all the good stuff. Got
Yes.
it? So that's
Wow.
that's
That
yeah.
was a good explanation.
Roger Joan banter.
That's my elevator
is not
pitch.
the good stuff.
No,
I guess.
that's the extra fluff you can ignore.
All right, let's stick with
Bye, everybody.
the Note 9 because everybody wants to. Ahmed asks, is it worth it if I've got the S8 Plus? And I think a lot of what our takeaway has been so far is if you're jumping a full number, it's worth it in like the lineup. If you have something concurrent, you may be wishy-washy.
I would disagree. S8 Plus, I mean, it's a larger phone. It doesn't have the does it have the dual camera? That was last year's. Oh no, this year was the first year with a dual camera. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It was like that was last year's model, and I would actually say generally no, but I mean the camera is a significant upgrade from last year's model, given the fact it's a dual lens camera versus a single lens. If you don't care about that, if you don't care about photos as much, and most people do, I don't think it's worth upgrading because that was last year's model, and you're not getting that much of a significant pickup in performance or in any of the kind of bells and whistles you'd find in a new phone.
So as with any major fiscal investment, you have to weigh your priorities.
That was very practical and reasonable sounding, Brian.
I was evaluating
confused.
your response because you were practical and intelligent first. So Photo Nuts, Note 9. Anybody
Yeah.
else? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that fair assessment?
Well, no. Sorry. I mean, yes, in fact, if you're a camera person and you don't have an S9, so everyone else, yes. As long as you don't have an S9 and you were like crazy and upgrading after a few months. So yeah.
Sidebar from Timothy Dew. When are we going back to dumb phones? These prices are too much nowadays.
Well, I have a no phone on my desk if you want. It's really just a black slab of plastic, 3D printed plastic. It doesn't actually make any calls. It's really
Does
just,
not
it's
have dual
plastic.
camera.
It's no phone.
Doesn't
dual
have
camera.
a camera.
Oh, it might have a selfie mode because it's got like a reflective surface on it, so you can sort of look at yourself. I mean, I think my dad had a dumb phone up until like 2 years ago, but even he gave it up, and he's got an iPhone now. So I mean, the days of dumb phones are kind of over, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Like we can't even get those retro Nokia phones in the U.S. So
That's what's really kind of disappointing me. I was thinking
Yeah.
to myself, like, wow, like just kind of going back in my brain, I'm surprised that no one's got the 3310 here in this office yet. I was like, oh wait, we can't.
yeah, doesn't work. It doesn't work in the bands here.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to some of the HMD Global folks, the startup that makes Nokia phones. You know, they kind of envisioned that 3310 as a weekend device, a vacation device. You switch your SIM card, you put it in there, and no one can reach you. I mean, it's really just for phone calls. But I mean, realistically speaking, I couldn't do it. Like I need to be reached. I need to be reachable. So yeah, it's hard.
Let's talk about the micro SD card. We've brought this up before. Have we found anything more about whether you can install apps on the expandable media on the Note 9? Just to know like how much you're kind of stuck with. If that internal storage, which is beefy enough really, if that internal storage is where you have to lock in all of your functionality, or if you can expand that to, or if that was strictly for media.
Let me get back to you on that one. I can ask Jess. She'll probably know, but she's not here in this office right now, but I will get back to you.
I'm trying to skim through her article right now to find out myself.
I don't believe it's addressed in it.
This show really needs to have like the entire staff of CNET on call at all
Well,
times.
let me.
Oh my God,
I'll
that would be
Slack
great.
her. Maybe she's awake.
Maybe.
She's awake. It's 8:30 over there.
I mean, I'm
West
sure
Coast.
she's awake. I don't know if she'll be responsive.
Okay, and you know what? While you're at it, Joan, would you ask her how?
Wait, hold on. Okay, wait. The first question was questions from podcast Jazz. Okay, the first question was
Is the expandable micro SD? Can you load apps on that, or is
Okay.
it strictly for media storage?
Gotcha. Okay.
And secondly, how has the battery been so far? I think I
Okay.
can find this
I think
in.
that's in her review.
Oh, yeah,
right?
you know
the
what?
battery's in the review.
I've got that
Yeah.
in the review. Let's bring up the stats right here. A 9.0 overall. Shining above all else is the battery at a solid 10. So bravo.
I mean, look, it's 4,000 milliamp hours. That's huge. So that's a 21% increase from last year. And it's why the phone is a little bit thicker than it was last year. So going against the trend of thinner phones for the sake of battery, I like that. We should more phone makers should do that. Pack
More
in bigger-
battery,
More battery.
please.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and take a question from Srinjoy, who always is loaded with good information. Now that Samsung has opened the S Pen to developers, are we excited to see some nifty tricks coming to the apps to be
Ooh,
implemented on the
yeah.
S Pen?
Yes. I don't even know what those tricks would look like, but
That's
even
the fun of it.
Yeah, that's totally the fun of it. I mean, the early demonstrations were pretty cool, right? Being able to control your music remotely, being able to use it as a remote camera.
Roger,
shutter
let's
trigger.
dream together.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let me see. What apps do I play with or do I use constantly? TripIt, Spotify. What can I do? Well, I mean, controlling music would be nice, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They keep using the PowerPoint presentation example, but I'm like, I never use my phone as a platform for PowerPoint presentation. So
When you're giving your TED talk, it'll be real handy.
that's right.
This is all
Snapping
training
my
for your
S Pen.
TED talk.
Oh my gosh.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Mine would be just a quick launch to play Hall & Oates on Spotify.
Just that.
Yep.
That would be for a convenience key, right? Not just the S Pen. Like if you had a physical button on your phone that you could do anything with, it would be for Hall & Oates, right?
Yeah. Every
Okay.
button on my phone would play Hall & Oates.
I love it.
Here's another good question from Storm King. I still have the Note 5. Are we expecting great changes for the Note 10? Trying to decide if you should wait on the 9 or not.
Yeah, I think you're the perfect example of someone who is in that dilemma because by normal logic, you should be upgrading. Like it would be this phone, if you buy it, would be a huge upgrade for you, would be a much better experience, longer lasting phone, much faster.
You get a lot of value out of the change. Yeah.
But yeah, the thinking is that by the time the Note 10 rolls around, 5G is going to be prevalent. And it's hard to say how 5G is going to look. It's going to be optimized for different networks. I'm not sure if you're based in the US, although if your name's Storm King, I'm assuming you're somewhat local to here. 5G will be around for certain carriers. I believe T-Mobile said New York will actually get it sometime next year, early next year, actually. So you have to imagine that by the time the second half rolls around and the Note 10 is out there, 5G should be probably the hallmark feature for the next phone. So that's the thing. Like, do you want to? If you buy now, you're gonna have that phone in the next few years. You might skip out on sort of that 5G revolution. But I mean, either it's a tough decision. I can't make it for you, but it's a bit of a pickle there.
Alex Mitchell had a great suggestion for the S Pen. Triple click to start voice notes. I think that's a great idea. I think you could also probably apply that to voice to text.
Yeah.
Would be kind of
yeah.
handy. What if they
Yeah.
put a microphone right in the S Pen? You could just speak into it like that skinny mic, like
You could sing along to your Hall & Oates.
Ooh, it could be a karaoke mic.
Oh, karaoke phone! I'm in.
Ooh. Fortunately, no mic, but that's good. We should tell that to Samsung, and then
Samsung,
we should
hire this
patent
man.
it,
Let's
and then we
just-
should sell to Samsung.
Let's just start our own development here.
Yeah.
Let's work on it. Speaking of that, APEC wants to know how long before third-party developers can get access to be able to use the S Pen for different features. Is this going to be at launch or postponed for a little bit?
They were a little cagey on the exact timing. They just said that it will happen. I believe it's going to happen like in the next month or so, but I'm not entirely sure. I know they have their developer conference in, I want to say October. At that point, it should definitely be out.
And when is the S10 kind of slated for announcement? Is that going to be in February?
Traditionally, it's February.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
late
what I thought.
February, early March.
Devil's advocate Mike Shaw asks, does the Note 9 still have the annoying Bixby button? If so, can it be repurposed?
Yeah, we had this discussion the other day. Yes, there is a dedicated Bixby button, and no, you can't change it. It can only call up Bixby. We all hate that. I know. Everyone's in agreement,
Except Samsung.
except Samsung. We're just like, no, but you're going to love Bixby. Bixby's awesome. No, like I said, Hall & Oates, I'd probably make it, I don't know what I would make it. Probably an email trigger button, I guess. But yeah.
All I can think
Nope,
of
just Bixby. Sorry.
All I can think of is the Simpsons meme, and Samsung is officially Principal Skinner who says, "Am I out of touch? No, it is the children who are wrong." That's all that springs to mind with the whole Bixby conversation. Before we go, and we are just about out of time, one quick question about Pandora. Joseph asks, is the free Pandora Plus subscription only for new Pandora email accounts, or will it also apply to existing Pandora accounts who don't subscribe to the no-ad service?
I'm not entirely sure how it's going to get rolled out. I believe if you're not
Is there a grandfather clause, essentially?
Well, if you're not a Pandora Plus user now, I think you'll be able to get access to it. I don't know what happens with existing customers.
I imagine existing customers can request to have it switched over to like. I'd be surprised if.
Oh, you mean existing like free customers? Like I don't know what. If you're saying existing Pandora Plus. Oh,
yeah.
like,
if you're already paying for
now,
it and you're a T-Mobile subscriber, I'd be very surprised if like they're like, sorry, you got to keep paying T-Mobile.
No, that's true. You're probably right. Again, this gets rolled out at the end of the month, so we're not sure how it's going to work yet. It'll be through your T-Mobile Tuesday app. But yeah, I imagine if you're paying for it now, you'll probably get a break once it rolls out.
Live. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens with Netflix, right? If you were already a Netflix subscriber, I think they just like knocked off $10 from your bill or something.
That would make a lot of sense. We want to pivot back into Note 9 real quick, specifically S Pen one more time from APEC. Will we see third-party S Pens being made, or could you see accessories being made to add to features to the S Pen, like a Joy-Con? That's a cool idea.
Whoa. Wow. That's actually a great idea. I don't know. Well, I know for sure that I don't think they're going to be making any third-party S Pens. That thing is kind of built specifically for the Note 9. I think Samsung's got a lot of proprietary stuff around it, so
that's
note of that.
Down.
That's locked down. But in terms of third-party accessories to pair with the S Pen, which is kind of funny because S Pen itself is sort of an accessory to the Note 9. So you're buying accessories to accessories. I mean, yeah, the door's open. I don't know how big of a market that is because I don't know how many Note users are out there. We had their estimates out there, but it's obviously a fraction of like the S phone market. So I don't know what the appetite is for those kinds of third-party accessories. I imagine, given like the SDK and how open they are, you can theoretically build one. I don't know if anyone would buy it. Maybe Nintendo Labo could like get in and build some sort of like foldable accessory thing that you stick an S Pen into.
Ooh, Samsung Nintendo team up. I'm into it.
Yeah.
So before we go, there is a pressing question in the chat from our friend Srenjoy. Roger, how many spells have you learned?
Spells?
My Harry Potter scar. There we go. Oh yeah, there it is. But it's not a lightning bolt. I don't know. Alfred already made that joke yesterday. He's like, watch out for dark wizards.
That's my favorite part, is that
they
Alfred was
got
able
me,
to jump right into the...
I know. That only took him 5 seconds to do.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah.
I think Alfred's missed his calling. He's not a reporter. He's a graphic designer.
Oh, don't even suggest that to him. He'll get all cranky on you.
All right. Fantastic conversation as always today, folks. Thanks for joining us. We are out of time. We are out of week. And we'll be back on Monday. And until then, thanks for joining. You guys, who wants to take us out today?
I'll take it out. The 359 podcast is available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Feedburner, Google Play Music, and the Amazon Alexa. Of course, it's on CNET.com. We will see you all next week.
Take care, folks. Have a good weekend.
That's what we got.
It's probably